Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about the death of communication. And no, I know it's not the death of communication for everybody, but for me, lately, it has been pretty close to it. I just think it's very interesting how things have gone for me, whether it's on social media or whether it's just in my general life. It seems like a lot of my communications have inexplicably dissipated into thin air and have evaporated. I know a lot of it has to do with me. I'm a very introverted person. I can be very introspective. Many of you may know that watch my astrology channel understand I've mentioned certain things in my chart which suggest this. I also have in my natal chart, I have the ruler of the 12th house of restrictions and the 3rd house of communication. So it could indicate maybe as one astrological reason why I don't have much communication life. I have not really had much at any point in time anyway, but for whatever reason, things for me lately have just, as far as the communication aspect of things, have started to disintegrate and just very odd. It's almost like, it's what's interesting about this, it's almost like you ever feel like things will be going a certain way. You'll have certain conversations and communications with people, and they'll be fairly consistent. And all of a sudden, almost like with a snap of a finger, it's almost like simultaneously everything stops. It's like you just almost like somebody hit a switch and it just went kaput. The thing about it is I do realize that I'm not the most outgoing person. I need to reach out to others, and that's obviously very significant. But I just feel that what's funny is I think a lot of it too is I think I'm guilty of this as well as other people. Sometimes we just become so immersed and so engrossed in what we're doing in our lives. Sometimes we forget about the people that may have been there for us at one time, and sometimes we just kind of, maybe not maliciously, we just kind of put them on the back burner though. And what hurts is when you have some people, okay, that will be there when they need something and they want to inquire about something, they want to ask you this, and then what happens is, okay, you help that person out, and then shortly afterwards, okay, that person dissipates into thin air, and then they come back again at their convenience. It's sad because there was one time I was talking to someone, and I was trying to help mentor her and try to give her some insight into things. And it was like, I felt like for whatever reason, inexplicably, she just seemed very negative toward me, and I couldn't understand why that was, and what would cause this person to act that way. And I think what happens is sometimes with me, I guess, and I don't know, I guess other people as well, we can have certain communications with people, and what we try to be positive in it, but what happens is the person on the other end is not always going to be positive, and then what happens is you just don't really, I think sometimes negative communications might discourage you. And then as far as talking in general to others, sometimes maybe what happens is you feel, well, I had this problem talking to this person, and then there was this other issue with this other one, and then you kind of take a step back a little from communication in general. And I think what happens too is it's kind of like, you know, I don't know if they still make them, but I think sometimes as people, we have to remember that other people out there do have feelings. We're not Game Boy cartridges. I think what happens is sometimes somebody will talk with somebody and they feel enlightened. They really enjoy talking to that person at the time. But what happens is someone else or other people come along into their life, and what happens is they become dominated by those people, and then you just kind of you're really kind of put to the side of the road, so to speak. It's kind of like I remember back in the, I don't know how some of you may remember this depending on when you were born. Older people may remember this now. Like when the Atari came out, and for as far as the video game system, then you had in television, you had Sega, and you had one advancement after another. What happens is it's kind of like somebody, okay, they get the Atari, right, and then the novelty wears off, so to speak. Then they go to the Intellivision, they advance to that. Then maybe Sega comes along, or whatever comes after the Intellivision, this series. And I think sadly what people will do to other people, sometimes they'll treat them like they're more of a material. They don't really factor in the human element or human aspect into the equation. They feel, okay, well, I'll be, it's convenient for me to be friendly to this person. I need someone to talk to. I need a shoulder to lean on. So I'll talk to this person that now, and then someone more interesting comes along, and then they'll say, oh, I'll just talk with this person. Then they'll forget it, and then they forget about the person that they started to form a strong bond, maybe, and strong rapport and friendship with, or what have you. And that, to me, it doesn't even, I don't really understand that. I don't know why people, I mean, I guess I explain why they do it, but I just don't really see how they can have that mindset and act that way. That's what I can't really understand. And really, we just have to remember as people that, we're human beings and we do have feelings. To me, I don't really show a lot of hurt. People have done me similarly during my life. I would be there for a lot of people when they needed me, but unfortunately, a lot of times those people wouldn't reciprocate. And I think what we have to do is, maybe it's just about being more judicious of who we associate with, who we claim to be our, quote, friends, unquote. And what I think, what really, to me, what's funny is that you'll have people that will build up this rapport with you. They'll build up this good friendship, and maybe sometimes we take it for granted. And then something happens where they just go, they go mute. They mute themselves, so to speak. It's like they take their remote control and they just stop talking. I don't mean any offense to anybody that is mute out there, but what I'm saying is that there are people out there that will just basically go silent, is what I'm saying. And the thing about it is, we just can't. It just, to me, to do that and really not ever write to and basically essentially stop corresponding with the person. There was somebody I wrote at one time, and it was about 8 months ago, and I had written her on social media, and according to the thing where it says it actually was on Facebook, it had said seen, and I never heard back from her afterwards. And I don't understand. See, there's people out there that wonder, I think they may see this video, okay, why, like maybe I blocked some people out there, and why did I unfriend them, why did I block them? Well, what happens is when I feel that you're either not in my corner anymore, or you're trying, when you're distancing yourself from me, and you're basically saying that you really could care less. Well, that's just the habit I have. I just feel, well, why should I give somebody or give you a friendship of any kind, any way, shape, or form, when you're not even willing to respond or give me some kind of answer? Or if you're a person that talks to me incessantly just when you need me, and you won't be there for me. I have to be fair to myself. I'm not going to allow people to use me and just be there have me be there at their convenience. Somebody said one time, I know this is not exactly a profound statement, but I've heard something like the antithesis of love is not hate, it's apathy. Well, seems to make sense in a way. I mean, when you basically, when you say, it's funny because when you hate somebody, you're letting that person dominate your thoughts, right? You're putting so much effort into this anger to them. It could make you vengeful and vindictive and want to act out vengeance, exact vengeance on that person, and that takes certain effort. But when somebody becomes apathetic, you're virtually an afterthought in that person's mind. When someone is apathetic toward you, that really means that they just forgot about you. And what hurts is I'll see somebody like these people that I wrote some time ago, and we had consistent conversations, and they did not respond to me, but yet I'll go on the chat on Facebook and I'll see them on there, and I'll be like, okay, you got all this time to talk to these other people now, but yet you decided to kind of throw me under the rug. Well, maybe it's time I just do the same to them and just delete them and start blocking them. Maybe that's what has to be done. I mean, I understand, like Facebook, a lot of the friendships are superficial on there. I get that. I'm not going to be on this hate parade and be like, oh, this person don't talk to me, I'm going to get rid of them. But if it's somebody that gave me an impression at one time that they were becoming a little better friend than typical Facebook friends, so to speak, and then they're just going to disconnect themselves from me inexplicably, well, for me, I just don't appreciate that. I really don't like it. I resent it. I think that's rude. I think the least the person can do is write something and say, well, gee, there's certain things going on in my life, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to really be writing you that much anymore. At least take the time out and decency to write something and explain why you're starting to disconnect from me. Because I feel it probably is not something that I did. I don't think in most cases that there's any animosity directed at me by these people, but it's apathy, and it's certainly what I think it is in most cases. I think people get to a point with certain people that for whatever reason there's other things in their life taking precedence, and you basically, in comparatively speaking, they could care less about you. And I think that's just, it's not being pessimistic or negative, it's just the harsh reality, unfortunately. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment on the death of communication. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.